Thank you. Thank you. Please give another hand to the spectacular Winneba Youth Choir. Excellencies, distinguished guests of honor from the Elysee Palace, Mrs. Hélène Legal, Nananom, Nime, Name, dear colleagues, my brothers and sisters, distinguished ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. On Sunday, 6th March, Ghana will be independent for 59 years, just 1 year short of 60. However, in terms of maturity, I would say our country is at the yuppie stage, a young, upwardly mobile professional in our 20s. We have passed through the terrible twos, the mommy-daddy why stage of the early years, and the rebellious teenager stage. Passing through these formative stages on the way to maturity, both for a person and for a nation, is very important. It has never been a better time to be an African, and it has never been a better time to be a Ghanaian. When the century's history is told, this second decade after the millennium will mark the period when the debilitating effects of the slave trade and the period of colonialism that followed began to be overcome by the peoples of Africa. And what has been the catalyst for Ghana rising, apart from the passing of time? Because, of course, we know that time is a healer. The catalyst for us has been democratic governance, a consensus by our political elite to conduct the political struggle, our political struggle, not through threats of violence or violence itself, but through talking, communication, freedom of expression, and clearly defined rules that govern and order the world of politics, what we call the rule of law. In Ghana, the only difference from the past is how that struggle now occurs. The rule of law permits a non-violent struggle and allows the population to choose its own leaders through free and fair elections. This leads to political stability and the space for further political, economic, and social growth and development. To achieve progress, it is important to accept that there will always be political struggle in human relationships. It is the human condition. The fight to save our environment is a political struggle. The fight for education, the fight to educate girls and women are all political struggles. In Ghana, these struggles happen in our parliament, in our courts, in our media, and during electoral campaigns. Our commitment to the Constitution of the Fourth Republic means they occur through debate and discourse in these democratic institutions, rather than in a violent manner. And for that, our leaders make sacrifices every day to play by the rules, restrain themselves from violence, and concede defeat, even when it is staring them in the face. The other catalyst in Ghana, which has brought about our remarkable progress in political and economic development, has been the education of women and girls. It is clearly shown by all indicators that educating women is positively correlated with the accelerated development of a country. In October last year, the President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, paid a visit to UNESCO to mark its 70th anniversary. He spoke about his government's support for girls and women's education and the great strides Ghana has made by becoming one of the most successful nations in the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals in the area of education. Before the end of the designated period, our country achieved free universal basic education and gender parity in primary school. In equal numbers of boys and girls enroll in our primary schools. UNESCO is a house of peace. Its main mission, the reason why this organization exists, is to bring an end to violent conflict among states. How does it strive to achieve this? It does it through celebrating the things that we all have in common as fellow human beings and the things that we do differently because of our geographical separation and the different languages and cultures that have developed as a result. It also recognizes the critical role education plays in building peace through human development. UNESCO has made the link between peace and education, particularly the education of women and girls. ICT education and mobile learning are the educational currency of the future, and by making them available to this most educationally deprived group early, we can reverse the historic trend of girls being disadvantaged, overlooked, or underrepresented in education. The Ghana permanent delegation here at UNESCO is developing a project with the UNESCO Information for All program in bringing ICT education to more girls and women in Ghana. Any support or assistance from other permanent delegations, the private sector, or NGOs to assist us in achieving this goal would be very much appreciated. Mesdames et messieurs, il n'y a pas d'indicateur de développement et de bonnes conditions de vie plus évident dans un pays que lorsque l'art et la culture prospèrent. Nous sommes ainsi réunis aujourd'hui pour célébrer la joie de la musique et du client de chant de chorale, une activité humaine appréciée dans le monde entier. La chorale Winneba Youth Choir est l'une des chorales les plus célèbres et accomplies du Ghana, connue pour leur polyvalence et leur maîtrise technique, ainsi que leur habileté à interpréter des chants du monde entier. Aujourd'hui, le répertoire illustrera d'une part cet amour commun pour le chant, partage dans le monde entier, et d'autre par les différentes formes qu'il incarne. Ils ont fait leur entrée dans cette salle en chantant un gospel ghanéen, Joy Like a River, l'un de mes préférés, et en chanson sud-africain suivi par des chants populaires français. Ils vous ont ainsi offert un répertoire classique brillant. Cependant, le meilleur est encore à venir avec le rythme et la danse de chants populaires ghanéens et un medley de musique de gospel ghanéen. Ils sont tous amateurs et beaucoup sont encore au lycée. Ils vivent sur les parrainages, les sponsors et les donations. Ils tirent aussi les revenus de la vente du CD dont vous pourriez acheter des copies. Enfin, je veux remercier Madame Le Gall pour son discours magnifique, anglais et français, bilingue, et pour avoir pris du temps de son agenda très chargé pour avoir honoré notre invitation aujourd'hui. Thank you to Mr. Matoko for reminding us of the important role played by Ghana in the liberation of Africa. I thank the executive and the Winneba Youth Choir for coming all the way from Winneba in Ghana. Thank you for your joyful and inspiring performances. I thank you, distinguished guests, for coming from far and wide to grace this memorable occasion. And finally, I thank our sponsors, Brussels Airlines, Justmo Limited, and Svanikier Group. Please stand up, representatives of these organizations. Thank you for making this event possible through your financial support. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.